There are a couple of other players that are declining right now, but they're kind of like on the cusp. So we don't want to get into that on this video. But hey, look, what we would really like for you guys to do is drop down in the comments and let us know who else is struggling that that you would like to add to the list.
What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about a few of the NBA players that we believe are struggling this season. So let's get into it.
The first person that comes to my mind is Kyle Lowry.
Oh,
yeah. Now, look. Kyle Lowry's point production is great. He's averaging 19.7 rebounds, 35% from three, and 43% from the field overall. However, the Raptors are 13th in the Eastern Conference, 2 games away from being dead last. I mean, Kyle Lowry is 34 years old, scheduled to make $30 million this year. He's been through a lot. He lost DeMar first. He lost Kawhi. He lost Serge and Marc Gasol. And I think he might be struggling to lead this new group of Raptors.
One thing about the Raptors, I think that people don't mention, number one, they're displaced. Let's just call that what it is. They are displaced. Nobody else in the league is displaced. They're playing in Tampa, Florida. So now at least in the bubble, everybody was displaced. Okay. But now they have to play their season, at least this first part of the season, in another country.
Yeah.
Tampa, Florida. So can you imagine, number one, not being at home? So that's number one. Number two, I think it's important to also mention when you're talking about the Raptors and probably why Kyle Lowry has difficulties in leading this team is that they have seven undrafted players on their team. Who has that? Nobody. So we're talking about he is having to lead a team that I don't know if he's ever experienced before, where there are people who have not played the game at this level. 7. So let's talk about their core. What is it? Him, Vanvleet, Siakam, OG, Norman. Who else? Who else I got on the team? Everybody else is either undrafted or from the G League or these. They don't have long experience in playing at the professional level. That's a huge burden to carry, Kyle Lowry. So yes, if his production is slipping, not necessarily in points, but in his ability to get the team to close out games, then you get a pass from me.
Oh my God. Okay. But I think it's important too to note that now Siakam just signed a huge deal. Fred VanVleet as well. So maybe the Raptors organization is looking in the future and saying, you know what, look, Kyle Lowry is 34 years old. He is not going to be here.
With the Raptors or just in general?
Overall, the way he plays, he's always falling down. At some point, he's going to sustain a major injury. Now, I don't wish that on him, but I'm just saying it's probably likely. And then the Raptors organization has already set themselves up for VanVleet and Siakam to be the next faces of the franchise.
Absolutely. Now that I agree with. I agree that it is going to be VanVleet and Siakam. I don't think that Kyle Lowry's time is up. I mean, hey, if you got other 35-year-olds playing, why he can't? That's number one. But I think that his time with the Raptors is up. I do believe that. I do. He had a great career with them. And I think, like you said, I believe he'll be an unrestricted free agent really soon. So, yeah, it's time. But again, the burden of what he has to carry as their leader is more than what has ever been in the previous seasons. So
right. Yeah. He doesn't really have anyone to share it with.
No. I mean, I guess he has VanVleet, right?
Yeah, but VanVleet, look, he just signed that huge deal. So right now he's just trying to show that he's worthy of it.
That's true.
So I don't see him trying to, carry the load. And plus, he hasn't been there that long. Kyle has been there for several seasons.
Oh, he's a staple. He's a staple. Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, when he leaves, they should be retiring his jersey. Absolutely.
Oh, they better.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. He is the Toronto Raptors team. So when he decides to either leave, hopefully to be on his will, and he goes where he needs to go to kind of end out his career in the NBA. But yeah, he has a lot on the shoulder. So if his leadership ability and being unable to help the team close out, I get it.
Okay, so the next person off the top of my dome is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, look, I think he's struggling with his stardom versus political and social activism versus his full, complete obligation to the Brooklyn Nets as a starting point guard. Yeah.
Okay. I can see the correlation there. All right. Tell me more.
So Kyrie has made it known that he's willing to risk it all. I'm not exactly sure what that means because, when pressed early on during the bubble, he said he's willing to risk it all for that period of time. But like, what does that mean exactly?
That's a good point, because risking it all means that someone that you're connected to, be it in the NBA, your personal family, friends that you have, will have to suffer the consequences of whatever that is. So risking it all may be great for you as as an individual, but you will be taking the opportunity cost of risking it all, and someone else you're going to forgo whatever else you may be committed to. So to your point, what does that really mean? Because somebody is going to get the short end of the stick in you risking it all.
Wow. Yes. And right now it's the Brooklyn Nets. Everybody knows he went AWOL. Okay.
We don't know why. Personal issues. We don't know why. I hope everything is okay.
It was the same day as the Capitol storming.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the Brooklyn Nets right now are getting the short end of the stick. He went AWOL. He knew the team was already without KD. He knew the game against the Philadelphia 76ers was a nationally televised game. He knew that they would need his services, but yet he still decided not to show up and fulfill his obligation as the starting point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. I have a problem with that.
The only reason why I can't definitively have an issue with it is because I don't know why, right? Right now it's for personal reasons, and it can be for anything. And so my first thought is that I hope everything's okay. But again, when you want to risk it all and you've made that statement to risk it all, as I mentioned, somebody is going to get the short end of the stick. And in this case, with him not being able to play a nationally televised game, guess who got the short end of the stick? The Brooklyn Nets and their $100,000 fine that they will have to pay if they don't come up with a reason why he's not there. Because I believe that's it, right? You can miss games, but will this be coupled under the load management rule that they have? And if that's the case, then somebody's going to be fined, Brooklyn Nets. Not only that, you have a commitment to your team, right? So that if you don't fulfill that end of the bargain, something's going to be missed. And so if he does not want to, for whatever reason, and his reasons, it could be totally valid for him, and I'm not disputing any of that, but maybe you should sit out a year. Because guess what? What the nation is going through right now, it's going to be going through it for a while, I hate to say. And so if that's where he feels his heart is tugging him, then perhaps he needs to say to the Brooklyn Nets, to KD and all of the people that are playing on the Brooklyn Nets team, I'm going to take this year off. So then they can now make a decision on how they want to move forward if this theory, is where we are.
Yeah. And the only reason why I'm leaning towards him, this is some kind of political stunt is because he went 0 dark 30 against the media. He also has like a passive aggressive approach towards the media and towards being a celebrity. I mean, it's like, look, you can't have it both ways. And right now the team is struggling. I mean, they're 5-5 and 9th in the East, and everybody, including myself, we were counting on Kyrie to show up and play basketball. That's why they're paying him $30 million a year. It's unfair to the organization. It's unfair to the fans. And I think, at some point, Kyrie is going to have to make a decision. Like you said, hey, sit out a year. But I'm saying, if this is what you really want to do, then why don't you go ahead and retire? You got the resources. You want to devote your life to this. Hey, have at it.
Yeah. And I don't see why he wouldn't. I think that he can do whatever he wants to do. it just makes it very difficult when people are counting on you to be a part of something that they all are trying to build, and in this case, build a championship winning team.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want, you do it when you want to. People can't move forward like that. So I hope it all works out. And wherever he finds himself, that's where he is. And he lets everybody else know that's counting on him in other areas that that's not where his focus is. And then they can move accordingly, and then it'd be on his terms, and it would be how he want to move forward, because it would be horrible if the NBA has to make the decision for him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that to happen to him. So I just hope it all works out. Maybe, he just needed that moment away. Everybody's going through something regarding what's going on in the world today. So maybe this is his way of trying to cope and deal with that. If that's what it is. Again, we still don't know. And it still could be personal issues. And whatever that personal issue is, I hope your team really knows about it. And they're just, creating a safe space for you where they don't share it with the media. Because I don't think they should share with the media, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we'll see you back on the court. Because if we don't, then they need to move forward with Karis as a starting point guard. And let's just move on. Let's just move on to the fans who want to watch the game. That's it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you who I have and what I've been seeing this season. This person is the oldest player on the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, the Clippers.
And at 34, something about the way Lou Williams is performing in the season this year is questionable for me. And I say that because not only has his production decreased, but something about him seems like he's disconnected from the organization, like he's already checked out. And I actually saw it in the bubble last season. And now, although there's been some slight changes in the roster, for some reason, and I could be overstating and maybe I'm reading more into it than necessary, but I think Lou Williams has checked out of the Clippers franchise. He's checked out. He may be there physically, but emotionally, I just don't think he's there. He has scored single digits 4 out of the last 7 games he's played.
That's
Do you
unlike
know Lou Williams off the bench can get you an easy 15 points? And now he's barely doing that, and he's playing over 20 minutes a game. What is going on? Is it because they brought in Luke Kennard? Is it because now Reggie Jackson is getting more looks than Lou Williams? Or are they saving Lou Williams and his veteran presence and his shot making ability and playmaking ability and 6 man of the year 2-time ability and further into the season? I don't understand. So for me, I don't think Lou Williams is a huge contributor to the Clippers right now, which he should be because he has been in the past. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's old. And you know what? There is a high possibility that he is checked out. I mean, one of his probably his best friends or best teammate, Montrez, is across the hallway now playing for the Lakers. All of that, including all the scrutiny that he went through in the bubble. Yeah. I think this is probably a hangover. And it might be time for him to either play for another team or, go ahead and call it quits, because he's had I think a remarkable career.
Yeah.
So Lou Williams, he's definitely struggling. And it could be too that PG is out to prove everybody wrong. And so maybe there's some kind of offensive shift taking place as well.
But I don't understand what that has to do with Lou Williams when he's coming off the bench. You are 6 man.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, perhaps it's Luke Kennard and your Reggie Jacksons. And I'm like, well, maybe he is feeling a little betrayed in a way. Like, you're going to bring these guys in, you giving them all these extra looks. Hey, I'm here. What about me? I helped build the franchise to what it is today. I was a part of that. I mean, it's been happening over here, but I was a part of that. And now all of a sudden y'all just saying, okay, Lou, thanks. But we got Luke over here. We got Reggie Jackson. We're going to have him. I just don't know if he's able to withstand the shift that's happening with the LA Clippers. And perhaps it is time for him to go to another team. Because I don't know right now, whatever production he's putting up, it ain't it.
Yeah.
Not when he can do better.
Yeah. And who knows what type of pressure he could be under from the new coaching staff, I mean, we don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall just to kind of see the conversations they have, right, in the locker room and how it affects them on the court.
Right. And maybe the positive side of this could be, Lou has been told that we're going to limit your looks so we can get Luke Kennard and Batum and all our new players a little bit more comfortable with our system. And then we will start to utilize your abilities later on in the season. Are you okay with that, Lou? I hope he said no.
Exactly. No, I wouldn't be okay with that either.
Exactly. No. So I don't know. I don't know, but I hope he finds out whatever that is. And, if he has to be traded to another team, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, if you're going to come to the game and you're going to show up, I'm going to need you to bring all of you. And right now, I know he's not bringing all of him. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Gary Harris with the Denver Nuggets is on a smooth decline. Check it out. No, the Denver Nuggets are 4-5 right now. And Gary is averaging 10 points and 2 rebounds and 1 assist. That is unacceptable for someone who is part of the big three with Jokic and Jamal Murray. What is going on with Gary Harris?
You know what? To be honest, Gary Harris has not been right since he came back from that injury last season. He just hasn't been right. And I think that has affected his play. And I don't know when he's going to get it back. He got a pass from me in the bubble. He just came back. I mean, it's okay. You got to get your footing back. We're in a new season and it's what we waiting on? Yeah, no. The Gary Harris of old is gone.
Oh, that's a shame. He's only 26 years old. He's supposed to be in his prime right now, averaging 31 minutes a game, and we're getting 10 points out of him. He is supposed to be a sniper from the 3-point line. At least he was. But right now, he's shooting 24% from the 3-point line. His free throw shooting is down to about 73%. As a guard, it's highly unacceptable. His assists and steals are also trending downward. I mean, look, if he doesn't figure it out here soon, there's going to be a big 2 in Denver, and he's going to be shipped out somewhere else.
Or find himself on a bench. I dare the coach to sit him down. Maybe he has a fear of getting injured again. Because, I can only imagine. Because unlike Oladipo, who had that injury, and what injury this season? What injury?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess it just depends on who the person is. But Gary, hey, but it ain't happening. No, Is there somebody else that can replace him in the meantime so he can put up extra shots? I'm going to need for him to stay after the game, practice on his shooting. No, it's not good. No, it's not good. And it's actually a detriment to the team when he's on the field, on the court. It's horrible. I'm like, oh, Gary got the ball. Oh, well, you shouldn't feel that way as a fan watching the game. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. And they need to probably talk to him about that. And maybe they have. But they need to now, he's at a stage now where the coaches need to say, okay, Gary, this is where we are.
Right.
We've given you a pass in the bubble when we knew you came back from that injury. And that's fine. This is a new season. And right now your production hasn't even remotely, it's not even even slightly below where it was before you left.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that to be fixed. Otherwise, in these next 2 games, this is, what leadership should be talking. In the next 2 games, if we don't see any changes in your production, you're going to be coming off the bench.
Ooh, and at $19 million a year, that's a hard pill to swallow.
You tell me how you want to do that, because we're trying to win a championship. And right now, you are hindering our chances of doing that.
Okay, now, first of all, let's not get too crazy. Denver Nuggets are not going to win the championship. They're not even going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. Cut it out.
Oh, stop it. No.
Come on now. Okay, they're in the West.
We're trying to make it. We don't want to be a part of the play-in tournament this year. We want a solid place in the ranking of 1 to 6. And right now, your play is not helping us with that. That's the discussion.
That's the discussion they need to have. I'm telling you. I mean, it's not looking good for Gary Harris. Now, Jamal Murray's playing great. Jokic.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. And right now, he is the flat tire on that automobile.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. Gary, no. Get it together.
All right. So, look. There are a couple of other players that are declining right now, but they're kind of like on the cusp. So we don't want to get into that on this video. But hey, look, if you guys enjoy this content, what we would really like for you guys to do is drop down in the comments and let us know who else is struggling that you would like to add to the list.
Yeah.
Is it Pascal, Siakam? I don't know.
Pascal, yeah.
You know, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, what's going on in Washington? I mean, hey, drop down and let us know what you think. All right, you guys, we are going to wrap this video up. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
Peace.
Peace, y'all.